We'll get things pumping. Let's get the music. Cut the music. Cut the music. Cut the band. Boom, baby. We cut the band. We're going to play. It's like James Bond. Got some big news tonight, guys. Sorry about yesterday. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm going to go look for this news article. Just give me 2 shakes of a stick. It's a beautiful article. It was by Tech what? Tech Point, I believe. We'll go look at the article. U.S. government. Okay, so they have there's a couple in here. There's the crypto economist. There's one there, and then the other one that I was looking at was the $12 billion worth of SHIB, but we know that that was Tech Point Africa, which was a hoax. But interesting enough, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Boom! We'll get into tonight's draw. Thanks, Babes Channel, for coming. Thanks, Rowena. Thanks, Wena. Woo! Hope you can hear me fine. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. We'll get right into hey, Prince. Sorry about yesterday. I was really sick. I was like extremely sick. There's no way I was going to make that up. There's not a chance. So I was like out for the count yesterday. So today it's going to be short and sweet, but today we're going to talk about what Donald Trump has announced. So far it's not, so as I can tell, it is not what is it? What's the word we're looking for? It's not finalized. Okay, so anything that's not finalized is hearsay. Hearsay means, well, assumption, and we know what assumption means. The screw ups of all things possible is done by assumption. Instead of going out and finding what the information's about. Yeah, so let's see about tonight's draw. I'm pretty sure everybody's kind of interested to see, because we have 2 nights, right? 2 days where we didn't have draws, right? So when I looked earlier, it didn't look good, just to be honest with you. We hadn't sold a ticket in the last 24 hours, and then this 24-hour period, I think it's pretty much the same. Well, we'll just go into it. Well, I certainly got a lot of hits on the channel. Well, these are all my shorts I got hit on. Okay. Okay. So without further ado, we'll get into the next session. We did not sell any tickets. I'll just confirm with that. We'll go into coming across the wire. Got to look at our stats. Yeah, we have no orders. Okay, so we didn't do any sales in the last 48 hours, so we'll have a carryover of the next 24 hours. Woo! We got to get this pumping. Get it pumping. We can start selling some tickets so we can start making some money and start reducing SHIB circulating supply. Although we are probably on the cusp of something massive. We are looking at USA buying all SHIB, and they are going to buy it all. How would they do that? Well, they have an inch with Robinhood and BlackRock, but they're going to probably charge them a premium price for it. And then they'll have to talk to Binance for about 80 trillion SHIB. Crypto.com, the same thing. They'll be doing a little handshake and a little maneuvering. But the $54 billion worth of SHIB, 54 billion SHIB that was acquired by the US was done with the FTX. They confiscated it. They didn't pay a dime for it. They confiscated it. Okay, so I want you to think about that. They confiscated it. What other currencies did the US confiscate? Anyone know? I'll give you a hint. It's the number one on the crypto charts right now. It is BTC. And they confiscated it all. They kicked everybody else or they threw them in jail. Yep, you heard it. They're all trying to get regulated through the U.S. The government. And what did the U.S. government do? No, we don't want Bitcoin. We'll throw you all in jail and confiscate it. Sounds familiar. What did they do with gold back in the 1930s? Anybody know? Oh, right. They confiscated it. And then they increased the price of it more than double so that people would buy it back for more than double what they paid for it. So they confiscated that. So anything of value, they confiscate. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with the U.S. government. They're looking at buying it for as little as possible and then charging you more than triple for it. With SHIB, it's not going to be triple. It's going to be 100 times to 1,000 times more because they're not interested in doubling it because they have such a high deficit. They're going to have to get trillions for it. So the only way that's going to happen is if SHIB gets up there in value. The only way it gets up there in value is one or two things. Either they hold all the supply and then reduce the circulating supply based on the amount of money that they're borrowing against it. Again, anyone that knows this it's just more and more positive for the people that are getting involved. So I want to say a big shout out to Prince, big shout out to Jason Cox. He's not in yet. Big shout out to Disclosure, big shout out to Gabriel. They're not in yet, but they should be paying attention to what's going on. So we're on the cusp of SHIB taking off. And I mean taking off in a major way. And most of these people, I'm going to say 99% of them, because they don't want to get educated, or they feel they already are educated in SHIB. They don't need to be educated any further. So then it becomes a spot of where they're going to fit on the systematics of things. So what's going to happen is you're going to see 99% of them sell way too early. Like we're going to go through probably we're going to get to about, I don't know, 308, and the majority of them are going to start what? Selling everything they have because they're at the top. They're made $100,000, $600,000. Some of them even $1 million. So, or just over $1 million, right? So they're going to sell it. So it's going to drive the price way down again. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't fall like it did before because they're buying it. The U.S. Congress is going to buy it all. If they can't confiscate it, they're forced to buy it, but they're not going to buy it for something they're not going to get 30 cents for, 50 cents for on the dollar. How can they do that? Well, they can reduce the crap out of SHIB. That's one way of doing it, but that's not how they're going to do it. They're going to leverage it. That's right. They're going to leverage it to pay off their deficit. And it gives them free rein of spending because of it. So what's going to happen is you're going to see a massive duration of the supply. But you're not going to be able to touch that supply. That supply is going to be locked for almost ever. Okay? The amount that's going to get reduced is from people like me and you. And organizations and businesses that buy into SHIB, but the government is going to want to confiscate it all. Like I'm telling you, they're going to confiscate it all from you. So right now we have big burns right now, and the price is dropping. We have an influx of a rumor, say the U.S. Congress is going to buy up all SHIB at $18 billion, $19 billion, $20 billion, $25 billion worth of SHIB. What does that do? Even if it's just a rumor, all of a sudden, every country in the world starts to recognize it. And they can see the potential in it because they're starting to do the math too on it. And that's the whole purpose of it, is to draw attention. So what's going to happen? Japan's going to start noticing it. China's going to start noticing it. All their enemies, all the U.S. enemies who have anything to say or anything to do is going to notice it right away. And the fact that they haven't taken action on it means that they're still waiting, but they're not going to wait long. And if you noticed, the volume in BTC is picked up. Now it's $107,000 for BTC. So I want to keep that in mind too. Okay, the article for the U.S. government. $1.6 million. Yeah, that's the 54 billion SHIB that was transferred to a different wallet for the U.S. government. Now, Africa, on TechPoint, this was August 20th, 2024, U.S. government holds 12 billion in SHIB, which is a lie. If they did, that would be like 90% of SHIB supply. If that were the case, SHIB's price would be off the scale. Off the scale. For one, they won't sell it. Two, they're going to use it to hedge other currencies around the world. So it makes sure that the U.S. is still in good standing. So that's the whole purpose of it, is because they can manipulate it so they can drive down their debt load. And then they start to acquire more spending because of it. And because they're able to do it with SHIB, they can do it at a higher or lower price. Well, they want to do it at a higher price. SHIB's going to be a lot higher because it makes more sense to them. If it's at a lower price, it means that they're losing to other countries on the same values that they're buying it for nothing. Exactly. That's the whole process of this, because it's a reducing circulating supply. It gives it a huge amount of utility, like a massive amount of utility, pretty much endless. And there's going to be a lot of smarter guys that come up with bots, that come up with transactions to reduce the circulating supply that doesn't cost them nothing. And then when they reduce enough of it, then they start reducing some of the supply they have, only to gain 4 times their money. And the way they would do it is reducing trillions of SHIB. So 20 trillion SHIB, it goes 4 times what the value of that is. That's what they're going to gain on. That's the whole thing. So eventually they'll end up with under $1 billion. 100 billion, it'll be 100 billion. It'll be under 900 billion. It'll be under 500 billion. It'll be under 100 billion. It'll be at 90 billion. It'll be at 50 billion. You know where I'm going with this, right? This is what they do, right? And it'll be in bulks until it gets to a certain point. It's going to be, but the price will be reflected in that value. So you'll have zero opportunity to take advantage of, where you could have before. If you sell it, you're selling it to whom? You're hoping you're selling it to another colleague or another person. I'm sorry, but now things have changed. Things have spun around, and the U.S. government has announced war on the rest of the world with financial stability. Okay, so it might be a rumor, but what's going to happen is other countries are going to start taking notice of it, and it's going to affect SHIB in a massive way. Unfortunately, the wording that we were trying to get out to everybody was so that everybody could take advantage of it. But right now, I'm afraid that might be too late. That might be too late. And what's happening right now is you're seeing the end result of what is going on. So we're seeing a dip right now in SHIB's price. And people, I have no idea whether they'd sell off right now, especially when the U.S. came back and said that they were going to look at buying it all. That's, even if it's a rumor, that starts a chain reaction. Okay. It takes 3 to 4 days for that to catch on, unfortunately. But you can see a major shift in SHIB's not SHIB's circling supply. Right now, the circling supply is diminishing. So that supply is being diminished by organizations because they get paid to write it off. Now, the government knows this. They can write off the same way as they can leverage against their debt. So when you can leverage against your debt by borrowing at a lower cost, still charging enough to pay off their debt, plus enough to reduce the circulating supply of SHIB that they have, so that it gains in value without any extra cost to them. But they're not going to do the reduction of SHIB just yet. They're going to wait for it to actually evolve. And they're going to be able to set the bar on SHIB to whatever price they want. So, like, they're going to be able to manipulate the price. So they want to confiscate it as much as humanly possible to the undervalue that they can get for it. And then they will increase the price of it. So those that are smart, stick with it. Those that don't understand will sell it. Make sense? Because they won't see any value in it. But what's going to happen is within a very short period of time, gold went from, what was it, $24. They bought it for $12 or $15 an ounce. And then it went to $110 an ounce. Just to give you a hint of how bad they confiscated gold at. SHIB is going to be a lot worse, guys. SHIB is going to be the underdog of the century. Because what's going to happen is you see the 4 zeros, it's going to be 2 zeros. 2 zeros 4, 2 zeros 3. And that's because they're sitting on all of it. And then they go, well, we want this in the $10s and $15 ranges. Then they'll just continue to buy it from you. It'll be just accumulating at that same price, at the 3 zeros, 2 zeros, right? 2 zeros 4, 2 zeros 5, and then back down to 3 zeros 99, 3 zeros 88, 3 zeros 787. They'll be just accumulating it. And then once they've accumulated enough of it, then it's sold for 12, 14, 15, 16 cents. And then it's a lot. A lot means like 8,000 SHIB, 100,000 SHIB. They release 100,000 SHIB at 14, 15 cents. Okay. The next time they release it, it's going to be at 32 cents. And they'll tell you that they're going to release it at that price because they want you to all start bidding on it because there's only a certain amount that they're allowing on the market. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's how ruthless the U.S. Congress is. That's exactly how ruthless they are because that's exactly what they did to Bitcoin. And then the next lot is like 30 cents. 48 cents or 50 cents, maybe even 60 cents. Double that again. And there's only another 100,000 to 300,000 or a million SHIB at that point. And you have to buy it in lots of 10,000. They're not going to sell to you in lots of 5,000. They're going to 10,000. You have to buy 10,000 SHIB at 50 cents. That's what they do. That is what they're noted for doing. So you can do whatever you want right now. You can say whatever you like right now, but the truth of the matter is that is what's going to happen. Japan, China, Russia, UK, Australia, Austria, Germany, France, Greece, Spain, all of them are in trouble. None of them are above board except for China, but their numbers are misleading. And they're very smart people. You would think that they would be buying SHIB a lot sooner than this, but they haven't. So I'm not sure why that is, but it's going to happen, guys. And we're watching it right in front of us. We're seeing it coming to fruition with announcements from Trump that are rumors, still rumor, because those rumors haven't been backed up by anybody, but a rumor starts to flow. And with a rumor, everything is possible, right? So everything is at that point where it can just explode. All right. Okay, so I'm Will, your host. Thanks for coming, everybody. Big shout out to Babe's channel. Big shout out to Wena. Big shout out to Rowena. Big shout out to Rowena Burgess. Wena, thank you. Prince, thanks for coming. Gabriel, Disclosure, Jason Cox, thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming in and saying hi. I caught this bloody flu. I'm not well, as you can tell my voice, and I'm sneezing, so I'm going to call it a night. Yes, I did keep a track of what you guys. I asked you the 2 questions to ask AI. What are the benefits of a currency that's constantly reducing its circulating supply? And then the second question is what is reducing its circulating? Which currency is reducing its circulating supply on a constant basis? You should have gotten SHIB as the number 1 answer. Okay, everything else has governance. Okay, so governance means that anybody can mint as much as they want. To me, they say that's decentralized. It is not decentralized. To be decentralized is you're in a different country with different codes of conduct. Okay, that's decentralized? No, that isn't. That's just a different set of rules for a different set of people. That's all. You're still centralized. You just don't have to abide by our rules. Okay, so Canada came out with its own set of rules on our tax laws this year, and they're bad. But you can go through different avenues to avoid it. Like you're only allowed to do $30,000 in cryptocurrency if you live in Ontario, Montreal, Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Inuit, Northwest Territories, and Yukon. If you live in any of those places, you can't put any more than $30,000 into cryptocurrencies. They changed the laws on it. Now, for everyone else, you're unlimited. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a whole lot because you're on, let's say you're on Newton. Newton is backed in Canada, but you can change it, swap it to Uniswap. Costs a little bit of money to swap it to Uniswap. But once you swap it to Uniswap, you can go to a trust wallet. And in that, you can dump as much money as you want into it from Uniswap. So again, it's kind of irrelevant, right? There's always a way around it. And they don't know about it because Uniswap is where it's not in Canada. Okay, but it operates as a cryptocurrency blockchain. Exactly. So you're able to switch it over. Same thing with MetaMask. You switch it over with MetaMask. Put as much money you want in MetaMask, then transfer it over to a DeFi wallet. No one's the wiser. And then you can transfer it back. And you're able to do that. So just to keep that in mind. That's your little tax thing. Everybody doesn't understand this either. I don't know why, but they don't understand this concept. Whatever you owe in the government, you have a couple choices. You can donate the money back into the SHIB dead-end wallets, or you can write it off as a loss or provision if you throw it to the dead-end wallet. So before you take the amount that you want out, do your calculations of how much you're going to have to pay the government, and then flip that. When you sell it, you burn it. When you burn it, you have to keep the wallet address that you used to burn it. You have to keep the date and the stamp that you used to burn it. And you can easily do that because it's already pre-recorded. So all you do is you copy it, take a picture of it, and then file your tax forms based on it. So this is what I lost as capital losses. And that's all you gotta do is take a picture of the screen that shows you your wallet address. Going to that wallet address, to the burn wallet address, is gone forever. So that's your proof. Okay? Anyone can do it. So you made 10 times your money. You want to take some of that profit off the table? Absolutely. Take a picture of where you're taking that profit, taking it off, setting it to the dead end wallet right away. You don't want to wait on it, because if you do wait on it, it could be going up in price. So the whole idea is to move it, have it go on the dead end wallet, come back and say, okay, the price is this. Okay, but it's now going up. So because it takes 3 or 4 days for people. Remember, psychology is a big thing. So it takes 3 or 4 days for people's psychology to kick in, so that they can maximize how much is actually worth now. SHIB is actually worth. Right now, we're dealing with a bunch of people who are uneducated in SHIB. So even the influencers, like, I'm shocked. I've been talking to them for a long time, and I still don't get why they know it. They know it, but they don't want to talk about it. I don't get it. Either they're beating around the bush about it, or they just don't want to educate the rest of you. I have no idea why they don't want to talk about it, because as soon as you start talking about it, they go, well, there's only one way that SHIB is going to go up, and that's a burn, massive burns. The people coming in is what's going to drive SHIB up. But right now, the U.S. is going to buy us out, guys. That's it. The U.S., and then if it's not the U.S., it's going to be other countries that buy us out. They're going to catch on to it, and it's going to be too late. And that's the facts. So the raffle, I want to get going because I want to educate everybody as soon as possible. But I think our time is running out. I honestly think that we are at the verge of a massive change in SHIB. And I'm afraid that who's ever in it is in it, and whoever's out of it is out of it. You're going to see a massive shift. The U.S. Congress is going to buy it, and they're going to pay anywhere between this price and 4. 4 zeros 4. 4 zeros 8. And they're going to steal it from you faster than you can say swap. Swap. You're going to know by the volume, because it's going to be in the billions. And I mean in the billions. I'm predicting about 12 to 14 billion the first day that they come online and start buying it. If they're not buying it, they're confiscating it. And I'm pretty sure that BlackRock and Robinhood and Binance and those guys are, they're going to be talking to the U.S. Congress to move all those trillions of SHIB to the U.S. So take it with a grain of salt, but I think that's how it's going to be played out. All that money is their money until it goes into their kitty. So I tell you right now, that's exactly how this is going to get played out. All those people are going to get flashed unless they put it into a DeFi wallet, unless they move it into a trust wallet or a ledger. And they have to start moving it pretty quick. Okay, so if you know anybody, I'm not sure about Wealthsimple, but Wealthsimple is pretty safe in Canada. We pay more for it, but it's a bit more secure. So, but that being said, if please don't let Trudeau find out about it, because he'll just he'll steal it from us for nothing, and beat us over the head with it. But that's okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. Anyway, enjoy your guys' night. Look forward to the next few days. We're going to know it within the next month. Remember that inauguration is the 20th of January when Trump makes his announcements? That's not very far away, guys. That is not very far away. So, what's our volume at right now for 4.05 trillion? Yeah, so we're looking at a massive breakout within the next week or so. Will we get the Santa Claus rally? I don't know. It's going to be tough to say. I don't know when the U.S. Congress is going to start swapping out BlackRock's or Crypto.com's amounts over. But that's going to happen. So if you want to save it, make sure you move it to a ledger. That's all I can say to you. Anyway, I'm Will, your host. Big shout out to Babe's channel. Big shout out to Wena. Big shout out to Rowena Burgess. Big shout out to Prince. Big shout out to Gabriel. Big shout out to Jason Cox. Thanks for coming, guys. Hope you had a great show. Unfortunately, it looks like that's exactly the path it's going to go down. If it's not the U.S., it's going to be some other country around the world that buys it. It might even be a few of them. But just so that you know, this is getting worldwide attention in all the good places. For those holding it, absolutely. For those trying to get in, absolutely not. That's the whole gist of it. Okay, so SHIB is about to explode. That's an understatement. That is an understatement. SHIB is about to blast off. And I hope they put people that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to finances, because they can blow this whole thing out of whack too. Just saying. But majority of them have a degree in finance and economics. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that the leaders will figure this out. So good night, everybody. Have a great, wonderful evening. We'll talk to you later. Ciao for now. Bye.